Yes,
You
but
managed
I
to...
think we can continue.
Okay.
I hope it's worked. I'm not sure.
Okay. It's okay. Let's hope so. So yeah, what was I saying? I was saying at this point, depending on whether you struggled in the first couple of years, but if you're still here, that's where my question to most people, if I'm talking to friends or whatever, why are you still here? There is a reason why you remain, whatever the context you are in, whether it is a cultural context, you feel you are obliged to stay, or you still love him and you have faith, you're trying to find your way back to him. You now have to let go. I think when you get to reconciliation, you kind of have to think about letting go of the man you wanted to have. I know that's hard.
Oh, and accepting.
Yeah, it's hard, and I know a lot of us never get to do that. That's why we fight till death do us part. But it's really at this point where you need to, because you can't, or rather, let me not put, finalities to things. I wish we wouldn't live unhappy for so long. If you get my point. If you now have gotten to a point where you really can't recognize the man you married, literally, you are just like, really, what is this that I'm doing here? You
Yeah, I
have
can't
to
accept all of this.
And you can't really accept just moving forward because you want him to wake up. You've been trying to make him see the light, or you want to see the light, but you can't change someone. You can't, no matter what. And I now realize this, because even as a parent, I know I cannot control my kids. I can't do that. Nor can I control my husband. Yeah. But that's where I always ask, at the end of the day, as we're talking about loving someone for who they are, I always ask, is this person able to work with you? That's when you need to figure that out. Are we the only ones to let go and compromise? No. We're not the only ones to let go and compromise. We need to know if this guy is willing to do the same. He might have come to a point where he's just, depending on how you've fixed things in the past. This is where I really think, if you've been fixers and you've been working towards things, fixing, even if you don't fix everything, but you're genuinely communicating, maybe this guy can work with you. But if you've not fixed much and you've sort of been the kind of person who accepts and lets go, because he's not going to change, so why do I keep fighting? Then it becomes harder. Then you might figure yourself, become the person who always compromises. But yeah, if we could really just sort of do an audit of the relationship every so often, to really see, because the problem is compromising comes when now you have done this for too long and it is now a habit. He is used to you compromising. So if you're a compromiser, then you might have to consider finding a way to change that, to really talk about the things now. But I know it's hard for after many, many years. It's always easier to start immediately the relationship starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you find it hard.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
This question, that's a very, very, it's very important about, are we the only ones to compromise? I think your marriage is also about you. If there's anything I've learned in the last couple of years, that I'm also a player in this. I'm also a participant in my relationship. And that doesn't mean that I'm just there to be the acceptor of everything, or the doer of everything, or the fixer, like you're saying. I also have to enjoy this place that I'm at with this person. And it's important to be at peace with yourself in your relationship before you even venture into another place of accepting who the other person is, right? Like, if you're, I know it's a bit, it can sound vague or too optimistic, But it's important for you to realize in the very, very at the onset of your relationship that you are important. You are an important part of this relationship. And what the other person does, exactly, you're a shareholder, you know? So whatever that the other person does, how does it affect you, your happiness, your thoughts, your future, your life, rather than just looking at it from his perspective and only accepting what he wants to do, what he does. Yes, in the Bible, God made Eve the helper. So now we start thinking the helper has no say. We can walk in thinking now the helper is just somebody who's instructed to do things. If the helper had enough power to say to someone, taste something that they're not supposed to, then the helper definitely has a bigger role in this relationship.
Oh my goodness. I never thought about it like that. Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
So, yeah, so it's not about just compromise. It's also about, at that stage, you've been with this person who you didn't first communicate what you liked and didn't like, maybe because you didn't know at first, maybe you thought and you were instructed to just be silent in the beginning and they'll calm down or whatever, stories we are told as we get married, and you listen. But now it's like, my happiness is absolutely compromised here, my joy is gone. How do I need to move forward? How do I accept this person, or do I leave? I think the most important part is not to let it go on for a long time. Like you're saying, if there were things that were going to just make your soul and your spirits like shake,
crush
and
you,
get confused. Yeah, in the beginning, say, make your stance known.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes we meet up with in relationships with people who are so stubborn that they don't care. They don't care. Like, okay, I don't want you to do this, and they're like, I don't know what you would have to do in that situation, but to remember to honor yourself.
Welcome back, Cody. Yeah.
You have to just honor yourself and then make a decision that serves you.
No, that makes sense, because I guess in the learning this person and loving this person, there has to be some self-appreciation. Not some, 100% self-appreciation. Because you're 100 meeting, 1 meeting.
Exactly. Yeah? There's no completing each other.
Yeah, no.
You are complete.
No, you are complete. You are finished. He just adds on to that, and you add on to him. So it goes both ways. But I think for women, it's a work in progress that is very painful to get to acceptance of somebody, or even your own self, because we are working on, like you say, in the first, you're married, you want to make him happy, you want to make sure everything is fine, you want to be seen to be doing right, and you want to be enjoying. Then in that enjoyment, he quickly settles. You're still in the up and up, but he settles. Now he's husband, he's chill, he's cool, and you now are still on the on the marriage trip of making the marriage a certain way, or even not even just the marriage, because I think most of us get married, we want to be with each other, we don't want the additionals that come with it. We don't realize until we actually are married that, oh, okay, those things are real, the in-laws issues are real, the having to make a house a home are real. I just want to be having fun, really, but yeah, I really just want to be having fun. And that's where you need to now remember who you are. But I think in the pains of growing together, the growing pains of a marriage, it's easy to forget each other, to forget yourself, to really forget yourself to a point, and then you have to start reminding yourself of, I need to come back. I need to come back. I need to come back to myself. I need to get to know myself again. Yeah. And that happens at different times within the stages. After kids, after you finish, maybe you go through a certain part of your career, after you start growing a bit older, you start getting a little wider, you know, things like that. You you
Yeah,
you
current
now you have
situation.
to reconcile the person that you are now, because you're still thinking you are, but now you realize, oh no, actually my time is moving and I need to get back, you know, my Zvisi-ness. Yeah. And if you are lucky,
Yeah.
you get to do that with someone who is also working with you. He's also figuring himself out, like you say about your husband. He's trying to get into that mode of the future, of getting my kids ready for, you know, the future that I have for them. But yeah, you're right. We need to remember ourselves first before we get to accept somebody. But I think it's easier. What I like to look at it like this. I think when you start to realize that this person is not going to change, and I have to accept good and bad. When you let go, literally let go and say, I will see him. See him as he is, with all his everything, you know. You can actually start to work on yourself. For me, that's how I have done it. Is now getting to a point. I mean, I've been married for 18 years. Let's be fair here. And that's a lot of time to be with someone. So I know a lot of people may not have that tenure, but so I've had time to reassess this person I'm with, and got into a place where I can say, you know what? No, let him have his moment, because I also need to find who I am. Yeah. And I have to accept. And the good thing is my husband will tell me like it is. He will tell me, I'm not doing this. I'm not this person you want me to be anymore. Figure yourself out. That's how he is. He's yeah. So I have to figure myself out. So, and in when I've let go of trying to figure him out and saying, and I know him, I'm sure I've spent 18 years with the guy, and I know that balance of the positives are more than the negatives, and I've had to accept the negatives and say, you know what, I can live with them. Yeah, I can really live with these.
They're not deal breakers.
Yeah. So, I have now gotten time to actually relax. I'm not building him. I'm not his mom. I'm Zvisi, who is his partner, and I want to enjoy myself too. Yeah. So that's I like to look at it as accepting him has opened the door to starting to accept myself. So that's a bit different from the way. Yeah. I get to, yeah. But I've always been a person who advocates for herself. I don't. I want what I want. You know, I want what I want. And I think Gamu had asked the question. I didn't see. It was about the guys have to.
Oh yeah, she did.
Have to
if
also
they get advice as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. It's hard, I think, for some people because they don't get the advice, and now you have to now start teaching someone the way you want things to go for you. That makes it hard, to be fair. That's why we don't get time to be ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, there's a gap in the market where our men need
gap in the market for sure.
They need people to let them know that not everything is all dandy and sugar, and the wife will be the husband, and somehow you meet somewhere and everything will be perfect. There's a lot of work that actually goes into keeping a woman or a wife happy just as much as keeping a husband happy.
That's true.
But
that's very true.
I don't know, hey, maybe we should have are there any men do they have these conversations? Are they taught? Yeah. Or are they also like vowed to some sort of secrecy? Because we're also told like, you must know this, but not necessarily have a conversation with your spouse about what we have told.
Yeah.
So we all go in with a load of information. I don't know if they go in with a load of information, but we go in with information. But we don't say, oh, actually, from the age of 7 or 11, I was already being taught how to adjust my body to meet your needs. They don't know that. They actually get surprised that you've been in training for how long?
Yeah, I know.
Like
all your life.
And so so maybe just having that conversation.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
before we get married in the
yeah.
beginning, were you told these things?
I think.
And
go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just wondering, like, if they were told these things, and do they feel like it applies? Are they practicing it? Because sometimes they're going in with the mission to practice, but not to say what they've been taught. And it may not be the right thing, because we are not carbon copies of each other, as women and even as men. So are they just going in thinking, if I do this because I was told the women like this, then I must provide for them. I must not worry about the emotional side. Are they, like, if they are, it will be good for them to share.
That's true.
Encourage your husband to share what they have been taught about you. Because it may not be right, guys. It's like, that's not what we want.
Yeah.
That's not what your spouse wants.
But I think if you marry, if you marry someone who is open-minded, and for sure, when you were dating, you could talk about anything. You just need to keep the conversation going. For anyone in a younger union, keep these conversations going. Talk about these things, because sometimes, I always say, he cannot guess and you cannot guess. Talk about the relationship issues, not just about the stories and the what and what you hear. Talk about what he knows, and it's even better to talk before you get married about some of these things and uncover them, because you don't want the shock of it when it comes to you are now in the home and you realize this guy has no clue, or perhaps you don't have the clue, because I think, as you say, women have an advantage of being taught early on. And marriage is a funny way of making us feel indebted to the union, rather than to yourself or to him. So we get caught up in that kind of thing instead of getting to know each other. So we forget to know each other. We get to know each other first in dating, then after that it's over. It's now the marriage.
Exactly. This is known now. It's true.
Then you forget, now this guy becomes someone else. He's working, he's doing other things, he's building himself, his personality. You are working, you're building yourself and your personality, and you don't know each other.
As if it stopped being important.
Yeah, and that's why it becomes so hard to start getting to know each other later, because you've changed. But you could have been getting to know each other as you went along. But I know life happens. Let's be realistic. And it's not...
Yeah, and you're seeing each other in action. Sorry.
It's okay. No, go ahead.
I'm so excited by what you've said, because now you're seeing each other in terms of your actions. Like what you're doing within the marriage, rather than the intention behind it.
Yeah.
Which was what you were doing before. Like you were saying, oh, we should go and do this because I want to spend time with you. Or I want, the intention of wanting to know someone better is no longer there.
Yes.
When you're married.
No, that's true.
Like it's not explicit. It's like, what I know you have 36 teeth, or you lost 2, and that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah? No, like
I have other things about me. Exactly. I know you're tied to the marriage. Yeah, you're tied to the marriage, and but that's why I say at some point you need to release him from the grip you had of the perfection of him, and now start again. You literally have to start again, and you might not like what you see. You might not like the person he is now, but you have to release him, because guys like what they like. They are happy with just sitting and doing nothing sometimes, or being very busy or whatever. And I think men live, from what I see. Sorry to generalize, guys. I don't know whether this is true, but
is it true? If there are men on the house,
if you're men, please tell us what you think. Men live. One thing I've realized, why I say for us, we must get to a point of accepting. He has always been who he is, and he has lived 100%. He doesn't. You are waiting for yourself to live 100%, or for him. But him, he has lived. He has lived thoroughly, and he has accepted the stages of life he's at. He is, he's just going. Yeah. So you don't realize that we live on expectation, I think, a lot of the time. So when you let go of him and let him just live the way he wants to live, but within the comfort of working together, you can literally save yourself a world of trouble. because now you get to do what you need to do and fulfill the relationship. Men live. This is so true. This is what, we don't live.
Yeah.
We are waiting to I don't know what we're
for
waiting
someone to tell us. Like, it's okay now.
Yeah.
Like, have your kids and then be yourself now. It's okay. Now it's safe for you to be yourself. You've had the children, you've started the garden.
Yeah.
You have the chickens in the bag. Now you can be yourself.
I wish
you
we
can
would
do your
now
nails.
I'm saying this, I'm actually realizing for sure. I wish I'd started doing it when we got married. Just to be myself. But I was being my Mati or being Richard's wife or being Zvisi who needs to, or being a student or being a, I wasn't being Zvisi in those roles.
Yeah.
There's a different, I was living roles. Yeah. But now I'm accepting of the fact that, okay, I have to be Zvisi as my Mati, Zvisi as Richard's wife, Zvisi as, rather than the other way around. Yeah, but it helps when I don't have to worry about him so much. And I
then if you're so busy.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we've gone above and beyond the time we were supposed to. But I just wanted to leave us with, I mean, the way I see it is just a couple of tips of, for anyone who may be struggling, or just, if you're just happy to hear this, really, to get out of the fantasy of him and into the reality of him. And number one is just to talk to him about what bothers you and why. To speak your mind. And I mean, it is your truth. It is your truth. It's okay. And I know we're afraid sometimes because of certain things. But if he's your man who is willing to hear you, he will hear you. If he's not willing to hear you, find a way to calm yourself enough to get into space where you can talk to him. Just have to figure out the methods. People will listen if you are in a good space. Then
just quickly, so before you go to number 3, was it 3 or 2? I don't know. Yeah, that I've noticed that once we even when we say what we want to say in our relationships and we think we are not heard, those guys, they hear you. They do hear. Immediate response is maybe defensiveness, because whatever you're saying, they always somehow it comes out as you're attacking. I don't know why. It just sounds like my wife is telling me I've done something wrong. But then they do go away. And then you see the change. They'll never really come back and say, oh yeah, you were right. So maybe never wait for that you're right, but then start looking at the action, following what you have said. Because it does register. I've seen that. I don't know in your relationships, you guys, if you've noticed that, but I've seen that maybe you don't get the definitely yes, fire, let's do this. But you get the okay, tomorrow you see someone trying something that you mentioned.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's true. But I also always think is you talk in an environment where he's going to listen. Don't just talk. That's it. You just want to talk and you are in a fit of anger. I mean, surely he's not going to listen to you. Then, so number 2, I was going to say is demand to be treated the way that works for you. Because remember, it's you. Like Tendai was saying, he needs to learn you. Yeah, so demand the way. It's okay to ask for what you want. Well, for me, it has worked. To be honest, for me, it has really worked. I am not shy to say, I want to go on a date. Because my husband will sit here comfortably. He's a 5 o'clock guy like yours. But I like to go out. I like to go out dancing. I like to, please take me out. I mean, I want him to do it because he used to do it, but he's not going to do it. But it makes me happy. So that's for me now. So we're going to go out. Dress up. Let's go.
But that's what you know yourself as well. You know what you want.
Okay, yeah.
So it's important.
And then at every stage, depending on how bad things are or good things are, choose the mix of marriage, happiness, or indifference. I mean, I say those 3 because I know some people really live in indifference. Because they said, you know what, I can't fix this bugger. Let it be, but I'm not going to leave him. So you live in indifference mode forever. But surely why? You want to be happy and comfortable and enjoy your life. So you can choose between marriage and happiness, or marriage and indifference, or happiness and indifference, but do something that works in a beneficial way so that you're not resentful and hurt. You don't want to always be thinking, I wish he was. That's why accepting him and now starting to work towards getting to know one another. Because when you start to get to know one another again, you can ask for what you want. If he wants you still. But you need to figure that out for yourself. Woo! Yeah. That's another story for another day. We'll do that, but yeah. So yeah, you need to choose that. Hi, Chennai. So choose that mix. I like marriage and happiness, but happiness is number one for me. Marriage comes after. I have to be happy, and my marriage works within that framework. Yeah.
I'm learning to realize that I want to be happy and I should be happy.
I can't compromise my happiness for anything. Forget. But I do know that there are other relationships in which you may be happy yourself, but the relationship is not working. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough in those spaces. But you have to choose to find yourself, because I really believe that there are some people who can start again from scratch. Things didn't work out. Let's get to know who we are now, because I'm not going to leave you and you're not going to leave me. So we've agreed there. So let's figure this out together. It can happen.
That's true.
Yeah. And then know his and your love language. There's this website, I always talk about it, the 5 love languages. That thing has helped me. It has helped me and my friends. We had a church group and we were taught this by our pastor. The 5 love languages are, the 5 things, your top 5s that you need him to do for you, and his top 5s. So anyway, I won't get into what they are, but 5lovelanguages.com, you can do the test and you know the way you want to be loved, and he can do his test. And if you're in a space of communicating there, you can learn how to love each other again. Because sometimes we don't know. You're giving someone food. You're always cooking for him these gourmet meals. He's probably not a big eater. Maybe he just wants you to just sit there and watch the game. Maybe he just wants you to chat. Maybe he wants to tell you about the book he's reading. So we love differently. And when you know your 5 love languages, you stick to 2. I stick to my 2 and I know what my husband wants. And I do those. And if he forgets mine, because he sometimes says, no, me, I like this. Do that.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah.
I've noticed about myself that at different times calls for different love languages, like throughout our marriage.
Oh yes.
Like sometimes I can feel like, okay, I'm enough. Thank you. This one is doing a great job here. Can we like move on to love languages? I've noticed that's what I'm like. And
yeah. I think you're dynamic,
consistent.
Yeah.
But I need to change it up. Sometimes I don't even know which one I need spoken to. At times, I only realize afterwards. But it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Definitely not consistent. So you need to keep checking in with your person to see that.
Okay. Yeah.
Where they at, what they need at that time.
And I mean, the last one I put here was, know if he is worth working for. You might be working with someone who cannot be worked with. Sorry for my bad English, but that's it. Some people don't want to work with you. You might just be hitting, knocking on a door that will never be opened. But that's up to you to do what you will with that. It's a decision you need to make. But I always feel if he's worth the faith you had in your when you started, and if that thing is still there, you'd be surprised what you can do by reflecting, refreshing, letting go, being yourself, and then saying, "I found myself now. Let's deal with this what we are calling our relationship." Yeah. And you can make so much easier decisions when you are happy, when you are free, when you're not having to build him or change him. You would be surprised how much easier it is to say, I am going to do this, I'm going to stay with this guy, and we're going to do this together, or not, when you have released him of the man you wanted him to be. So there, yeah. So there we go. There we have it.
Release doesn't mean breaking up, right?
No.
Can you define
No, I'm not talking about breaking up here. I'm talking about I no longer expect him to work a 9 to 5 if he has decided he's going to be a consultant and he's still, breadwinning for the family in a good way. I'm no longer expecting him to love the kids in the way I want him to love them, because he is doing his best. I am no longer expecting him to do what I ask him to do for my mother and my father because he genuinely is trying or is not trying. Or I mean, sometimes you actually have to accept bad things, like him in his rawest place where he has said, I do not like your parents. I'm telling you, that's a harsh one. But you might have to get to a place where you say, why is that? And okay, let me look at this person for the first time and see what is this monster that I have. Why are we doing this to each other? So releasing him is just saying, you know what? I'm not going to expect him to love my mom. I'm not going to expect him to talk to his daughter. I'm not going to expect him to enjoy the things I enjoy. I'm not going to expect him to come home at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. I have said it enough times and he has not listened. So let me let it go and find my peace. Then I can come back and say, you know what? I think I really actually don't like you coming home so late. But how can we work together around this issue? And if he says no still, you have to be able to say, you know what, it's okay. And if you want to stay in with that relationship, then weigh your deal breakers. Is it worth staying or not? Those are extreme issues and we are not touching on those. We are not therapists. We are not anything. We just are talking as Tendai and Zvisi. And we just want, to be free, to be ourselves and to hopefully love the men we have, if that love is there. Because I enjoy it. I enjoy being in love. And I really do. And I want to fight for it as much as I can. But he must be worth the fight. I hope that I answered that. I don't know.
Someone wants you to go through the 5 points again.
The 5
that you mentioned.
Oh, okay. The 5 love languages, or the 5, or the points I said to acceptance.
I think to acceptance. Let's go through the acceptance.
Okay. So number 1 is talk to him about what bothers you and why from get-go. Don't wait until you are about to blow up and it's been years of being together. And then speak your mind. It's okay, even if he doesn't hear it. But to be honest, if he's in a good space and you're in a good space, he will listen to you. And also be reasonable. What is it you're asking about? Then number 2 is demand to be treated in the way that works for you. And demand, I know is a big word, but sometimes you kind of need to, because he might not be able to figure out that this is very important to you, because it is how you want to be loved. And then number 3 is choose a mix of marriage, happiness, or indifference, depending on the stage you're at. If you've been going through a very difficult marriage, you might be indifferent. So in that space of indifference, add something else. Do you really want to work for your marriage? Or do you want to find happiness? Then figure out of that mix how to let go of the man you are hoping for, so that you can learn yourself and then start to ask for the things you want again with this man you've chosen. Because if you are staying, it means you still maybe want this guy, or it's still working. So if you are in the marriage stage because you are staying, then figure out a way to become friends again, if nothing else. Then number 4 is don't be shy to ask if he doesn't offer the things that he used to. If he doesn't take you on dates, ask him to go on a date. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You know what you want. It doesn't mean he loves you less. It just means you love yourself enough to know what you want. And then number 5 is know the love languages that work for you guys. So go to 5lovelanguages.com, and you will see there's a test there. And you can always DM me and explain it the way it was explained to me, so that you can love each other in the right way. And then finally, can you work with him? Is he willing to work for you? That question is the one that will tell you whether you can accept him. Because you might be accepting someone who really just he's not bothered anymore. He doesn't want to work with you anymore. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. So I think, yeah. Tend anything else or any other comments or questions we can address?
I think maybe from if anyone's still there.
Yeah, anyone's still there.
If they have any questions.
Any questions or anything you want to say? Yeah, as you type the questions out, I just wanted to say, I mean, this is the first live we've had, and we will be doing more. Depending if you've liked it, you want us to do something else, I'm happy also to do another live with anyone else on the chat. Just let me know. We can always schedule something later. Just think about it, and just to have this open discussion.
Yeah.
And
this has been really good.
No, I've enjoyed it.
Very eye-opening.
Yeah.
I remember when we first had this conversation, I was telling you that I wanted him to accept the things I accepted about myself. And yeah. So it's important for you to just broaden your horizons about what you accept about yourself. Because maybe those are not the things that are, there's more to you.
Oh, absolutely.
That the other people
and you're still figuring it out. You're still figuring it out. You're still figuring it out.
So also, maybe you also faces that dilemma.
Yeah. Before I forget, there is my page, loving_honestly. If that's where I do a lot of the quotes, and I'm working on a blog to boost that. So we'll be talking so much about relationships from now on. I mean, I've been talking about it, and I continue to do that. And yeah, in the most honest way I can.
We have Kamchira here saying, when is the next one?
When I would like to do this weekly. So Mitendi, can we do another one next week?
And Faith here is saying, I'd like to be live one day when I'm a relationship expert. You are a relationship expert. As long as you've been in a relationship with yourself, you're an expert.
Exactly.
You're an expert.
Oh, thank you, Tabiso.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No, we'll do more. We'll think about it. But we'd like to do something that, yeah, if you can see, I mean, we will check out what has been said, but yeah, we'll think of what else we can definitely, there's so much to talk about. Yeah, there's so much to talk about, but we'd like, yeah, so we can mix and match and see how it goes. And if anyone else wants to join, Faye, you can join without even now. We can talk about anything, you know, or that you want to talk about. Yeah. So you can think about it, and we can get a topic for next week, or yeah, and we keep going as we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you can DM us with topics.
Yes,
you can just send us some DMs.
Yeah.
What do you want us to talk about?
Your face is halfway, Tende, but yes.
I'm sorry. It's past my bedtime.
No, it's all, but yeah, even me, it's actually. And we've gone so long, much longer than I expected, but it was great. Thank you so much for being on. We're really grateful. I didn't know. I thought we'd probably just get one person to join, but it's been good. It's been very good. Yeah. So I think.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, we should be signing off. Then, yeah.
Oh, so I'm saying.
Wait, just hang on. I just want to type something quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. This is really good.
Thank you. I hope you'll be able to take some things away, and also tell us what we need to learn.
Yeah.
You know, give us tips. We can share on the group.
Yeah, because we're learning from each other. The amount of honesty. I hope we're not too honest. Then I'll be. Richard will be like,
I'm starting to wonder what
me.
Yeah. Now that it's on the internet, we can't take it back.
We can't. But no, it was good. It was tempered. We tried not to go to. Anyway.
Yeah,
okay.
I hope I've on our relationships as well.
Yeah. Don't forget to record. Okay. Yeah, we can sign out now, I think.
And so,
yeah. Thank you too.
all right. Bye-bye, guys. Thank
Bye. Good
you.
night.